Hello, hello. I am back. And ever since I did my last video, I have wanted to come back on here and unpack that video because I had some very good girlfriends. Well, one very good girlfriend in particular, that gave me some good constructive criticism. And her thing was, and baby, I can talk. Okay, I know I can talk. So her thing was that you gave a lot of good information. You gave a lot of good information. It was just a lot. And I just want you to break it down a little more. She was like, you can take that one video and break it down into like 3 more videos and give us some more on those topics, because you touched on a couple things and she kind of went into what I touched on that she would like for me to go into a little further. And I very well am. I very well am. It has been on my heart for some time now to do a video on rumors. That's something, that topic is very near and dear to my heart. And I am very, very, very much so, before this Christmas vacation is over, going to go into that. First of all, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. So it is Christmas, actually. So yes, Merry Christmas. I had a great Christmas Eve. My Christmas Eve was good. I adopted a family. And I feel good about helping out someone. I know the next time I do it, it's going to, I have different, a different, now that I've done it, it's kind of like, okay, so next time I want to make sure A, B, and C is covered. So, you always want to, you do things and you want to do it better next time. But I feel good. I feel good that I was able to help out another family. I feel good that I have my oldest child that was willing to sacrifice her Christmas to give it to somebody else. I raised her. Yes, I did. But I am grateful that I am starting to get good people in my life that are feeding the positivity that's around me. With that being said, again, Merry, 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 Merry Christmas, everybody. This is my very favorite time of year. I love Christmas time. New Year's is like, I'm like, whatever about New Year's, but Thanksgiving and Christmas time, baby, let's go. So, let me get to the point before I have another 1.5 hour video here that I don't want to do that. I want to get straight to the point here. So like I said, I wanted to do a video on rumors, and I will. So I want to make sure I stay on topic with this one, because why I'm getting on here today is different. I'm in the mode of speaking my truth now, speaking it and living it. Okay. I'm in the mode of standing on my own. I'm 10 toes down for myself. Okay. I'm in the mode of 100% speaking up for myself. I'm in the mode of faith. Okay. Understanding that I'm on a journey. I'm in the mode of being obedient. I'm in the mode of recognizing my Father. I'm in a very enlightened mode in life. I've been in this mode for a little while now. Okay. And what I've been moved to do now is to be more boisterous and to stop. So I'm not going to say hiding, because I never hide. Okay. I'm just a homebody. I'm a homebody, but I do go where I go. Okay. I'm everywhere. You just ain't never there, because I'm odd, not odd, but I'm one of those, like, if the crowd is going to the club ain't my cup of tea. Okay. And if it ain't my cup of tea, I'm not going. I don't care really how you feel about it, what your opinion is, how you think, what you think about me because I don't like to go to the clubs. I just don't club. I don't club. You might not, you probably not going to see me at the bar unless the food is good. Or unless I'm meeting somebody there and we really have some catching up to do or some conversations to have or something like that. But other than that, it's got to be something going on. You got to have some live music, live jazz preferably, but some live music. You got to have some comedy. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we can't just be sitting all in the same room just looking at each other. Like, come on. I just can't do that. I can't do it. That's just not me. I'm not judging anybody who it is, but I've heard in the past, like you don't go nowhere, or why you be hiding, or you act like you scared. And every time they say something else, I'm like, scared of what exactly? What am I scared of? Why would I be scared? Why would I be hiding? What am I hiding from? You know what I mean? It's just certain things I don't do. So, I mean, if you like the kind of things I like, you'll see me quite often because I'm very rarely in the house as much as I like to be. I'm very rarely in the house, okay? I'm off topic. Let me get back to where I am. So I am in the season of speaking my truth. And something happened today that I am no longer willing to be quiet about, okay? So there is a lot to say that I'm not going to say until it's the right time. Okay? But what I am going to say right now, right here today, is what happened today. Okay? So as I just told you, was fortunate enough to raise a child that was willing to give up her Christmas so that someone else could have one. And in doing what I needed to do for that today, I was out ripping and running. Okay. So I had my plans for today. And my plans for today were mostly relaxing. For a couple of different reasons. There's no need for me to put you all in my business and tell you each individual second of my day, but it was supposed to be a relaxing day. For the most part, it was. I got to kick it, sit back. Me and my kids, we wrapped gifts. I was able to go out and be a blessing. But right before I was leaving to go be this blessing, I got a phone call, and it rang odd to me because why are you calling me? Now, first of all, when the phone started ringing, I thought that I called this person. So I'm like, whoa, oh shoot. So I'm trying to hang up. And I sent it to voicemail before I realized, Asia, the phone was ringing, baby. Life be life, and sometimes don't judge me, okay? So the phone was ringing. So I'm like, oh, but why are you calling me though? So I'm in the midst of telling the girls, hey, boop, boop, bap. This is, you do this, boop, 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 bap. I'm trying to get out the door. Okay. And the person that was calling was my youngest daughter's father. And what rang odd to me about this phone call is that, why are you calling me? We would be here forever for me to go back on this situation. But this is a situation where it's like, sir, email me. Okay? This isn't even a text message situation. This is a email me so that it's an official piece of paper that can be printed out, an official not electronic device, but something I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, but an email is something that's credible. Okay, let me put it like that. So that's how you speak to people who are habitual liars and manipulators. You want to speak to them in a fashion that is credible. Okay? So I email. So the fact that my phone was ringing with your name on it was kind of like, my baby is here with me. Why are you calling? Whatever you have to say is an email away. Okay? So while that won't happen again, I called back. I should have emailed, but I called back. At this time, it was like 6:20 p.m. Okay? So I called back and he's on the, hey, how you doing? If y'all know this person, if y'all knew this person like I knew this person, your response to that would have been like, what do you need? Okay? Because I don't know who he is to the rest of the world. But for 12 years, ever since he decided to cheat and then come back to me and tell me I was the cheater and I'll be out at the end of the month. And my response to him was like, no, you'll be out by the end of today. Okay. Ever since then, he has been on some, I'm going to ruin your life. Okay. Back then, I didn't know what that meant. Back then, I was completely asleep. You know, versus being woke. If you understand, you understand. If you understand, you understand. And if you overstand, you overstand. So what I'm trying to say is that this person that I know is kind of like, get to it, bro. What do you need? So he calls. I'm gonna take you through what really happened. He calls, hey, how you doing? I'm good. What's going on? Hey, you know I'm supposed to get the baby today. I said, I thought this was supposed to be my holiday, but he like, no, because on the paper, y'all, when I tell y'all, I'll say it later. No, because no, because you had this year, last year, and this year. I'm like, I could have sworn you had last year. I'm like, you know what? I'm on my way running out the door. No. I'm gonna send you the paper. I said, I don't need you to send me anything. I have paperwork, but I'm on my way. I'm doing something right now. So once I get back home and you know I'm look at that paperwork, then you know I'll reach back out. Okay? He's like, no. I'm gonna send you the picture. First of all, I don't trust anything that comes from him. Okay? I don't care if it's printed and it says it's from the court. If the court didn't send it to me, I don't trust it. Okay? I know this person, excuse me. I know this person. I don't think there's anybody else around him that really knows who he is. Okay? So, and he's married. And I'm just not even going to touch on that right now, if you can call that a marriage, because the arrangement and the polygamy, whatever. It's certain things or unions that I don't acknowledge as actual marriages, but it is what it is. What I will say is that this person, he goes on this, well, I'm going to send you the picture. My thing is, okay, send me what you want. I said what I said. When I get back to the house, I'll look at the paperwork. I'll reach out. So I had to go do what I was doing. I was on a time constraint. Okay. So I did what I did. I got back home. I looked through the paperwork and I said, he's right. could have sworn she was gone last Christmas Eve. So this was kind of going through my head. So I'm like, wow. So I looked at my baby. I'm like, baby, you gotta get your stuff together, hun. Mama was wrong. I thought this was my holiday. I thought you was with me or with, your dad last holiday. Excuse me. With your dad last holiday, but you weren't, apparently. You were with me. So even she was sitting there like, what is that? Like, because when I tell you we had some cozy plans for the rest of the night. But she's like, really? And I'm not gonna go into any anything my daughter said, feels, thinks. Well, I'm not even going into that. But she and I both were kind of like, what did we do last year then? Like, you know what I mean? But bottom line is, it doesn't matter. Get your stuff together. We got to get you over there. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow. We had already done a couple of things. This is kind of a way that I run my Christmas holiday, to where, we had done a little bit of something. And to me personally, honestly, I really don't care what day it is. If we have Christmas gifts or something we want to celebrate, it's like, if y'all want to go do other stuff, go do other stuff. What day we gonna get back together and do our thing? You know what I mean? So around here, I'm not stuck to a day. Days don't matter. It's just, as long as we celebrate whatever event we're set to celebrate in those moments, or, at that time, we'll get it in, because, a day is a day is a day, as long as I acknowledge the moments. With that being said, she goes and she gets up, she starts to get ready, and I issue the communication. Like, that's weird. I really thought this was my holiday. Had I known this was his holiday, communication would have been out prior to today, because I would have been setting things in place like, hey, this is what's going to happen. I have it here at this time, blah, blah, blah. That's just me. Even if it's a order, it's like, if this is a holiday, I want to make sure we're still on the same page, because given how he feels or what he's trying to manipulate that he's not able to manipulate, sometimes he forfeits. So, you always want to make sure. Okay. And then you want to leave room for mistakes. Like what just genuinely happened. This was a mistake. I just really thought this was my holiday. And when you have it in you that something for sure, what do I have to double check? So no, I didn't look back at anything to make sure of anything, because I just knew that this was my go round. So with that being said, I issued a communication. The communication was issued, I want to say, about 8:12 or 8:17. Okay. So remember, the first call was like 6:20. Okay. The exchange was supposed to happen about 6 o'clock. So at about 8:12, 8-ish or whatever is when I got back, and I let him know, hey, I can meet you back. I can meet you for the exchange at about 9 o'clock. If that's something that you're still willing to do, because I do see that I was mistaken, and this is supposed to be boo, boo, boo. I'm like, in the future, if you could just reach out ahead of time, we could really avoid stuff like this. Okay. So when I tell you the response back was so feminine energy, oh my goodness. And I know it was feminine energy because ever since I can remember, it's been that girl he married that responds to me. Okay. So, whoo, she's so disrespectful. She's so disrespectful. And it takes like sometimes I bite a little, but it's just like, Asia, why are you going to join this circus? Why are you going to join this circus? And I had to grow to this point because I've joined a lot of circuses that she's put on, okay, and set up and invited me to, and I've walked right on in the door because it's like, the level of disrespect for her. It's like, baby, who do you think you are? Who do you think I am? Like, she's so rude and disrespectful, you just got to ignore it. Because why? What? Why? So the disrespect happens. I address it. I'm like, you know, I know you talk to your mother and your kids like this, but like, really, you need to grow some respect for other people. It is very unnecessary for you to act like this and talk like this. And then goes on to tell me about what I did on purpose and how I need to learn how to read. And I mean, this is how this... Okay, I'm sorry. Get yourself together, woman. Pull it together. This is how this girl talks to me. Okay, so I'm sitting here like, the only thing we need to be communicating is dates, times, and locations. Anything outside of that, you're harassing me at this point. Are you gonna be there when I said be there, or like, what are we doing? You know, because this disrespectful response, I'm not even about to go into this girl's disrespectful responses. Like, my thing is, you see the highlighted things you're supposed to see and you move on. Okay? So I get, you know, getting them together. And I'm telling you, I had a battle within me because I saw some things at the store and I told my daughter, wouldn't your little brother look cute in this? And she's like, yeah, because the little brother is who she always talk about. Her brother. So I'm like, this would be so cute on his little big old head. Like, we should get this for him. And then she has the sister that is kind of like, you can't walk in there with something for him and not have anything for her. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get this for her. So we put the thing, you know, I get these things, and this wasn't on my daughter's mind. This is me. Okay? This is, I'm in the spirit. You know, anybody that knows me, I have a huge heart, especially for children. The hugest heart. I'm just like, let's be happy, merry, and peaceful. Let's be respectful. Let's like just be in the spirit. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say that I got to a point in this girl's responses where I was just like, put them gifts down. I'll take them back and get my money back, because I don't know anybody in those sizes, you know? And it took my oldest daughter to check me. She was like, those kids didn't have nothing to do with this. They don't have nothing to do with their parents or this situation no more than Kelsey and I do. So, and I was like, you know what? You right. Because I would hate for Kelsey to get the raw end going over there because they got an attitude with me, even though she does on a very regular basis. But for me to do it is different. I don't move like that. Just because it's something somebody else does, I don't match energy. I set tones. Okay? I do not match energy. I set tones. Okay? So I said, you know what? You right. And I allowed my baby to go ahead and take the things that we bought and that we packaged up and, you know, we set forth for those kids to have. Now, I might be being judged by a couple of y'all now that's like, dang, you was just gonna do it. This isn't anything that the kids knew that they were getting. This isn't anything my daughter had in her heart to get. This is something that is basically coming from me, okay? Nobody gets my babies anything and sends them over here, not on a holiday or any other basis, okay? He used to pay his child support. Understand me when I say used to pay his child support. It's been months. But outside of the little child support that wasn't even sufficient, because I never went back to court and got it raised to where it should have been. So for some years, it's just been what it was. there isn't anything for school, no clothes, shoes, nothing that is contributed for my child that comes in this house. I don't know what he does for her over there, but he sure do keep it over there. It's not sent this way for anything. He isn't available for her. He doesn't call her. It's a oh baby. Okay. So when you talk about a deadbeat father, everybody seems to have their own definition of what that is. And I'm not even about to go into that. But what I will say is that the only thing that he used to do was child support. And now he does absolutely nothing but throw tantrums and be very feminine in interactions. I'll just say that. So we packed the car up because at this point, you know, with my other baby, I'm like, hey, we had A, B, and C plan, but we could just do that when y'all come back because, hey, in this house, when one go, two go. Okay? Y'all, I love my peace. Do you understand me? It's a difference between being alone and being lonely. And a lot of people think that being alone for the holiday is some sad thing. To who? Maybe to somebody that's not hustle and bustle all the time. Maybe to somebody that doesn't have somebody in their face all the time. But when the holidays come around and these kids break from school, that is my cue. Okay? That is my cue. In this house, when one go, two go. Period. There's no questions. We just gonna move like that because that's when mama get her peace. So I'm saying that to be very clear on, I would never try to take someone's parenting time or play with somebody's time or whatever. Like that's not how I'm cut. That's not how I'm cut. I'm not the type of woman that's, oh, I'm not giving her your last name because you this and that. I don't like you. I'm not that kind of person. From day one, I always gave him more time than the court even wanted me to give him. The court wanted me to give him one day every other week. I think it was a Tuesday. And I'm like, well, nah, because, you know, before we even came in here, I was giving him his off days from work. So I could just keep giving him his off days from work. Do I regret being that generous? Yes. Did that have anything to do with a heart attachment? No. I'm just a fair parent. I'm not the only person that had, you know, we share this. You know what I mean? And just as much as I miss her when she gone, you gonna miss her when she gone. So I didn't see why he should be restricted to one day every other week. And that was the old me before experiencing the narcissistic behavior that I experienced. Okay. So the new me is like, baby, you should have done what that court told you to do or what that lady at the court told you to do and then dealt with anything extra outside of that. But like I said, I'm not going to veer off the topic. I've already done that enough. So I'm going to go back to, we get in the car. And right before we got in the car, mind you, they took so long kind of responding that now I can no longer get her there by 9. Now, you know, I'm hopping in the car. It's like 8:52. I had to send that email like it takes 25 minutes. Okay. So basically 9:25 is when I'll be pulling up. So I pull up and I'm riding up and down the block. Nobody's there. Okay, mind you, let me go back to that phone call that he made to me at 6:20. That phone call he made to me at 6:20. Remember when I said that I was like rushing out the door because I had to go do my drop off and, you know, whatever? I was talking to the girls. Okay. And I'm like, okay, baby, you got this together, blah, blah, blah. And they responded to me. And I'm like, okay, boo, 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 boo. I'll be right back. And are you okay? Okay. Like, call me if you need anything. And cause I'll be bringing da, 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 da. I was having a conversation with both of them as I'm walking out the door. Okay. And they were supposed to come with me, but then they fell into doing certain things and they like, oh, that's okay. So, you know, y'all do that. I'll be right back. So, and this is when I was finishing up my conversation with them and running out the door as I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So he heard those conversations, and then I'm going out the door. Fast forward. We in the car, we get on the on the street, because I do this at my mother's house. Okay. And the reason I do exchanges at my mother's house is because I allow my mother to do the exchange. And I do it like this to take me completely out of the box, because if I don't take myself out of the box, he will create an issue every time and lie and say things are happening that's not happening. And what proof do I have to prove something that never happened, when he's working tirelessly to paint a picture around it actually happening? If you're getting what I'm saying here, if somebody knows that they're intentionally going to manipulate a situation, they already know what they're going to do all around the thing to make it look real. If I'm coming in, nothing's wrong, I'm not doing anything wrong, we on the same page, okay, boop boop, here, let's go, then why do I need to take pictures or recordings or have people sign documents? Hey, I need you to come with me to make sure that, like, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Okay. This is why I say I'm not in the season of keeping my mouth closed anymore. Like, oh, this is just my business. Nah, because they are very loud about a lot of stuff they ain't got no business being loud about, and half of it be lies and manipulation. So why not speak my truth? It's time. It's been about 12 years. It's time. In overtime, I will definitely be speaking out about more, but I'm just going to try my best to just stick to this situation, because I keep veering off topic, but it is so hard to just stick with this situation when there's so much to unpack in the whys and the what and the how and it's so much to unpack behind all of this. But let me stick to this story. So at this point, I shot the email like, hey, it's going to be about 25 minutes. So we get over there, and I tell you, it was spot on. Man, so my timing be like, phew. But get over there, and I see a pickup truck parked a couple houses down from my mother's house. Okay. And I'm like, because I know him, I'm just kind of like, is that him? Because why you not parked in front of the house? You know what I mean? So I ride up and down the block a couple times. I'm like, that's got to be him. But because he's sitting in front of somebody else's house, yeah, your lights on, the truck is on. He's in another type of truck. He in something different every time. I don't know if he renting or what. I don't know what happened to the car he had. Let me shut up. I do know what happened to the car he had, but like I said, I'm only speaking on what needs to be spoken on right now. Okay? So, I pull up and I kind of look in it, and it was dark outside, so I couldn't really see. I think the windows were a little tinted, and the truck was unfamiliar. So I'm like, okay, I'm not walking up to the car. I would honk and have them roll their window down, but I'm just not. No, I'm not doing that. So I went to pass it, to go down the block and turn around, and then I was gonna go in my mother's driveway. But there were two trucks coming up the street. And when I passed them and I looked back in my mirror, I realized that they were police officers. I said, this idiot done called the police again. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have manipulative, narcissistic, or just in their feminine energy fathers of your children or child, but for some reason, they like to use the police as a manipulative or bully tactic, I will say. They like to antagonize you or harass you with the police. Okay. So in the city that I was in, you don't need a reason to ask for a peace officer to come out and, like, for instance, make sure a transaction between a child or whatever, you get your child you don't need a reason to request a peace officer. They're just gonna come on out. Okay. So several times before, I have had to go up there, like, what is he actually telling you all is the issue? That he needs a police officer to come and get my daughter. Because the court has already told him, because he was pressing the issue of us exchanging at the police station again. Okay. And the court told him, no, we're not going back to that. This is working out for her. No, there's no reason to do that. He was hurt about that. So now he's going to bring the police station to my mother's house. Okay. Just because he can, not because he needs to, not because there's a reason, but just because he can. Okay. So my thing is, you know, I've asked before, but we're going to stick on this situation here. I pull up and I turned around and I came back down the block because, mind you, they 2 houses down from my mother's house. My mother's not even home. Okay. She wasn't even home. I wasn't aware that she wasn't home, but she wasn't even home. Okay. So 2 houses down from her house, he's parked. Why are you parked down here and she's there and you here to pick her up? Like, first of all, what are you scared of? What are you trying to avoid? What has ever happened during an exchange that has made you feel like you need the police for any reason? Nothing. So I pull up and I roll my window down and I said, ma'am, what is it that he is telling you all to make you all come to my mother's home all the time? This is a tactic he's using to bully and harass us at this point. Ma'am, we're just peace officers. We're just making sure the transaction goes smooth. It always goes smoothly because it's usually between him and my mother. And there's never an issue there. So I'm trying to understand, how is he justifying having you all come out here? Well, ma'am, this is just what we do. We don't necessarily need a reason. We don't necessarily need a reason. If someone calls and requests the officer to come, then we just come. Okay. So I was told that before, when he did this before. And judging by what he just did in court when he flooded them with all these police reports, like, see, it's always an issue getting my daughter. So that's what you're doing this for, to try to make it. So I, in turn, have to attach all the email communications that we have surrounding whatever police report he put in, like saying, no, this is what actually happened, because something is wrong. These people are weird. Okay? Just weird. I'm so happy I've learned to not have them affect me anymore. Anyway, so the lady explains that, and he's coming up because of the lies. And I'm like, because of what lies are you talking about? And what do lies have to do with police officers? Like, what are we really talking about here? Like, if there's an issue and you feel some time is being, like, something's not being fair, put a motion in court. I will happily go down there, because there's nothing to support these allegations that you're saying. That's why you won't take your butt into court and put in a motion, because there's nothing going on. You need to use the police to make it look like there's something going on, so you can go put in a motion and say, here, look, I keep having to go to the police. Y'all, this ain't even my point. Okay, this is not even my point. I would, if the buck stopped here, I wouldn't even be on here talking to you. I'm at 39 minutes. Let me speed this up. So bottom line is, because of the lies. So I'm like, ma'am, can you please? He called you here to make sure he got his daughter in peace. She's in the car with him. Can you please have him go? You know? So she's like, okay, just go. So at this point, I go to pull off and I see him turn around like he about to talk to them again. So I went back down the street. We're not doing this. We're not having private conversations. So I just pulled back down here to see what's going on. Because if you guys still have something to talk about, I just want to witness it. Because I just don't understand why the police keep getting called. And y'all keep coming out here. I thought police officers were reactive. Okay? Like you need something to happen that you're reacting to. Okay? Something happened and somebody called and said, hey, I need you for this. And then you come out for that. Right? I didn't know we could just call you and say, hey, I just want you in a uniform here so I can make sure it's peaceful. That's the suburbs for you. So everybody got in their cars because he was about to say something. And I was just like, I'm just coming down here just to be witness, that I could be a witness of the conversation. Because hopefully I can get some understanding. And here he go, it's the lies. Like, at this point, I don't even want you to explain what lies you're talking about. Like, whatever you were going to say to her with me not being here, go ahead and say it. That's all. I didn't come down here to talk. I came down here to listen. You know, and did I say that? No, but it was in my actions. He got in the car. The police got in the car and I pulled off. I was about to go take my other baby and drop her off. Okay. So I went, dropped her off, and came back to the police station because I learned before that, you know, I basically have to wait for that officer to put in that report for me to add to. Okay. So I went up there and I was just like, be just honest with him. Like, you know, this guy, I talked to an officer in here before and he told me that he witnesses a lot of men come in here, a lot of males come in there and use like the whole paper trail thing as a manipulative tactic. Okay. So he told me how to kind of combat it at that point. So that's really what I was coming in there to do. But because I saw new faces, I explained what was going on. So when I was explaining to the officer that was in the front there, what was going on, she was, you know, again, explaining to me as I expected her to, you know, that she didn't do anything wrong. They're just doing their job. I don't have to agree with their job in order for them to do their job. And that doesn't mean I come in there shooting off at the mouth at you. No, I just want to tell you my challenge, because my challenge is, and I mean it, you know, and just like I said to her, I said, I mean this with all due respect. He's using you all as puppets. He's using you all to bully me and manipulate this situation to make it look like I'm a problem and I'm not a problem. He's making it look like, oh, the police keep having to come out for me like there's a reason, just because you don't need a reason to come out. And on top of that, he's feeding you all whatever he wants to feed you all. Oh, I hope I didn't just stop it. He's feeding you all whatever he needs to feed you all. Let me charge it, in order for you all to put it in the report, so that when he gets a printout of it, there's this, oh, woe is me, and oh, this is what's happening, you know, report thing that you have to put in the report, because you have to put in the interactions and you have to put in there what he said to you. Okay. So the lady was trying to explain to me like, oh, well, we just go out. You know, I said, I understand that. But at what point do we say enough is enough? How many times do I have to come up here and say, hey, he's using you all to harass me. He's using you all to bully me and keep this paper trail going on my mother's address and on my name to make it look like I'm a problem. And there is nothing going on. Communication was had, everything was understood. Like, what did he think was going to happen? I don't care enough to even see you, even with my mother not being there. I don't care enough to see you and start an argument or to get out and do anything. Like, I have never and will never, ever. So why? Like, at what point do you all say, sir, in order for us to go out there to that woman's house again, an incident is going to have to take place, because we're going out here for an innocent, like to an innocent woman's house, and she constantly comes up here and says that you're harassing her with us, and there's no reason for you to have an officer accompany you, because there's nothing that ever happened. I need you to produce an incident. something that has taken place that would justify you requesting the presence of officers to exchange your child. Because the same thing that exchanging at a police station does to my daughter, it's the same thing of why the police got to pull up every time we exchange it. She has literally said, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And my response to her was, I don't understand either, baby. And I don't even want you to ask. I don't even want you to ask your father. Just sometimes people in life are going to do things that you do not understand. You just make sure every move you make, you know why you made it. And you understand why you made it. That's what I got to say to her. Because with the family that she has, whew, I can understand why her father is so narcissistic. And I also see how narcissistic parents have children with issues. I'm going to try to keep my daughter as grounded as possible. I'm going to give her all of the tools in the world I can give her because of the mess that she's put in the middle of that is outside of my control. Okay. Back to the story at hand. I end up talking to a gentleman. She calls a gentleman out because she's like, you know what? Let me have you speak to the officer on call. And this officer happened to be the one that took the call, right? So I'm like, the call? Okay. So he comes out and I'm explaining to him, you know, what's going on. I'm like, he's like, you know, he's telling me what the policy is. And I'm like, I thoroughly understand your policy. I really do. I understand it, but I don't understand it. I don't know how it can be possible that you all continue to let people use you all to manipulate situations and to bully people when you know for a fact that that's what they're doing. Like, at what point do you sit back and say, sir, we need you to have a reason to request a peace officer? Because that's what they are, a peace officer. Okay. So, basically what I told him was that I have something to add to the report. He said, well, I'm going to add, the conversation that we're having right now to it. I'm sorry about that. Let me speed this up because my phone was telling me I need some more storage. Okay. So I had to delete a couple of things just so I can get this point across. So what happened was I ended up, push come to shove, we go back in the office and he's talking to me as I'm giving my 2 cents in this report because I'm like, I need to add to this report. So while we're talking, I find out that he thought I was talking about a wellness check that was sent out to the house. I said, wellness check, isn't that when somebody goes to check on the well-being of somebody because you can't get a hold of them? It's like, hey, well, they not answering the phone or they haven't been to work in a few days. Like, isn't that what a wellness check is? Like, you think something's wrong inside the house? He said, yeah, that's what a wellness check is. And that's what was called at first. And I said, okay. But when I was just talking to the lady, she said she's a peace officer and she was just there to make sure that this transaction would happen peacefully. Even though that was unnecessary, that's much different from a wellness check. So why would she lie to me and tell me that that's not what that was? In the midst of us sitting there talking, he gets another, some more, messages in. He was getting his emails or whatever. And he said, oh, this is what you're talking about now. Now I'm getting the peace officer report. So the wellness check was called in earlier. So mind you, between the time that he and I spoke, when I told him I was going to get back to him after I got back home because I was in the middle of Christmas Eve stuff, and I just couldn't because I thought this was my weekend, my holiday. In between that time, and I want to say me getting back to him, it might have even happened after I emailed him a little later, but I believe it might have been before. He went up there and he told those people, or he called. I don't know if I can't remember if he called. When I get the report, I get back on here and be real specific with y'all because I don't want to give misleading information because that's not me. I don't do that. between that time of when he and I talked at 6:20 and when I sent my email to him at 8:17, 8:12, he called them and said that he went to go get his daughter and he was unable to do so. He said he placed a call to her mother and I picked up the phone, but he was unable to speak with his child and he heard commotion in the background and he doesn't know what to do. So the officer said, well, I had never been, I'd never dealt with something like that before. So I consulted, some coworkers or, whatever other officers. And they told him, I don't know, we'll just put in a wellness check and go see, how it's doing. At that point, that's when he told them, well, she lives in such and such other city, because they referenced that too. I said, I'll talk about that another time too. But, so they went out to my mother's house and that's when they said they didn't get any answer. Now that's why that was there. Okay. Yeah. Cause she wasn't there. So after that is when he came back and requested a peace officer. And when I was sitting out there with him, I told you all, when I asked him, I said, well, what reason did he give you that he needs you all to come out here? He gonna come with his old, I'm not here to talk about people. I'm here to give y'all my testimony of what took place. I'm not here to talk about people. So he comes over like, because of the lies. What lies got you calling the police saying you need a peace officer to make sure this goes smoothly, and it always goes smoothly? What lies happened tonight? I thought it was my holiday. I realized it wasn't. I said, okay, well, I can have her there by this time. What lies took place other than all of the stuff that you did tonight? So because you wanted to finish painting this picture that you painted, because I didn't know you put in a wellness check earlier talking about you heard commotion. You got a picture you trying to paint here. And until I actually get that report, I don't think I will ever understand what goes on in his head. But I'm going to tell you what, it's been 12 years plus, because I was pregnant when the nonsense started. And sooner or later, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the story, that before y'all even know when they really met and when this really became a problem. Okay? Because home wrecking and destiny swapping is real. If you know, you know. If you woke, you woke. Okay? So my point is, I'm just not in the season of being quiet anymore and just letting, like keeping my business, because they are very loud about their lies. They are very loud about their manipulations. They're very loud about all of that. So what I'm choosing to do now is to get on here and tell my story. I'm not getting on here to be messy. I could say a whole lot to be messy. I'm not on here talking about anybody. I'm not on here trying to drag anybody. I'm not on here talking about anything that's not my business. Okay? But sometimes you got to give testimony, because you never know who you help with your testimony. And that person you help might even just be yourself, because it's a world of people out here that think they know me and what I got going on. And they do not know me to the first. Okay? A lot of them never stood in my face and had a conversation. A lot of them have never been in the same room as me. It's been on the same street I've been on. Like, we ain't wrote down 8 Mile at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? And then you go and get people that may have known me, but I can't think of a person that has known me in my past that knew me. Family included. You might be able to find a couple of, like an ex or something, or maybe a female that I thought was a friend that really wasn't a friend, and that was really just there to get information that was paid for her to get. I'm gonna dive into a whole lot of stuff, because when I tell you this dude has been working overtime, you want to talk about obsessed. I'm not talking about certain things right now. I'm talking about the incident that happened now. I got to keep reminding myself. I'm not in the season of keeping my mouth closed anymore. So when obscene things happen, crazy stuff happens, I'm going to ask y'all to help me make it make sense. Because I refuse to be the one to continue to be sitting back looking like I'm weird Like, why you acting like this? It's 12 years later. If I could, I swear, tell me how much I need to give you to get out of my life, to leave me alone and let my daughter have a peaceful life. She's like the man. If I don't work on her mental health, she ain't gonna be no good as an adult because of what they keep doing. And it's not oh, they only do what you allow. No, don't let a lie be a lie. Don't let a lie be a lie. When you run into narcissistic people, read a book. Read up on them. Read up on them. They're never wrong. They're habitual liars. They gaslight. They charmers. Most of the time they look good. And it's real, they be real believable. Until you know. So I'm just like, I'm in the season of speaking my truth. So from now on, I'll be speaking my truth. This is going to be my journal. This is going to be my release. This is going to be my meditation, getting on here and digressing with you all to say, let me update y'all on what I went through today. Maybe y'all can help me make it make sense, because I don't get it. I don't think I ever will. Let my daughter be her. Let her visit her families in peace. You don't have to be in her ear about stuff. You don't have to cause commotion every time you trying to exchange, just because that's the only time you're able and allowed to be in my presence. Stop trying to get over to my house. It's not necessary. Stop being so weird and go live your life. It's not my fault you chose somebody you're not happy with just because of whatever arrangement y'all had going on. That's not my fault. I'm no longer an option. I stopped being an option a long time ago. You shouldn't have played. You played and I gave you away. I don't want that. And that's going to happen in every single time. Okay? I don't do competition. So if you think you want to go over somewhere and you think you that curious enough as you want to test the waters, if I find out, it's a wrap. You made your decision. There is no decision to make. It's my decision at this point. And goodbye. I don't play second fiddle to nobody. And competition to who? For what? If you the type of person that feel like you want to put women in competition with each other for you, you ain't for me. Maybe it's some women out there that'll compete for you, but not me. Not me. And because I always win anyway. Because look at 12 years down the line and you still causing commotions in my life for what? Y'all help me make it make sense. I am late on the rest of my, it's Christmas celebration now because it's like the wee hours in the morning. So I have a movie that I have been waiting to watch. I have dogs to cuddle up with. And I have some peace to grab because my babies will be back here really soon. And then I have to jump back into holiday mommy mode. I already got to wake up making salmon croquettes because if I wait too long, I'm not going to be able to make it later. So, and they are expecting it when they get back. But it's my favorite time of year. It's still my favorite time of year. This has not gotten me out of sorts. It's just kind of like, this is so weird. Like, let me just stop being quiet and just digress and talk. So thank y'all for being my therapy session. I love y'all. Well, I don't know who this is, but I love everybody. So yes, I do love y'all. I love my hair too. I just got my hair done. I think this is so freaking cute. This is my first time getting it like this. And I'm actually in love. When I first got it done, she had it all the way down to my middle thigh. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. This not me. We gonna have to chop this up. So, it's long, but it's not too long for me. It's cute when I pin it up. I'm able to go work out. I'm gonna have to invite y'all to one of my workout sections. I love boxing. Y'all don't even understand. Like this baby right here, I got to take my babies with me because, honey, like I went from the gun range to boxing, and this feels amazing. I can already call my shots. I can call any shot I want to. I'ma hit it. Okay, but now let's go. I get like, no, when I tell y'all I love boxing, it like, oh my goodness, I haven't had such a great release ever. Like a regular workout, I don't hit it. But when you put them, like when you baby with, woo, you don't understand how good it feel to hit that bag. Anyway, I'm going to take y'all to a workout with me one day. But anyway, thank you for listening. I love and appreciate you. I hope everybody's having a great Christmas, because my Christmas is going awesome. And be a blessing to somebody.